Sounds good?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right. Well, I think this is it.
This is it.
Welcome back.
What's the title of this?
I don't know. Who's the goat?
Who's the goat?
Who's the goat? That's what you guys said.
That's very good. All right. Well, Jithin and Soph, a love story.
The love story.
How to get started from COVID.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, right before COVID.
Yes, a little.
We got married in 2019, and then COVID happened.
That is true. COVID just happened to happen. The love story was already existing.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened to us.
So you had two weddings. We had the civil,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. That was in 2018, I want to say.
Yeah.
And
And then you married us in
yeah, in
2019.
2019.
And then we had to. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
Pretend to sign our.
He's like, sign this.
Really,
I'm
it's
like, what
already
am I
been
signing?
signed.
It's not real. Just
Just sign it. Yeah, it's because you wanted to read through it first. You were like, I'm not signing
I know, I
anything
gotta
without
read it.
reading it.
I was like,
Yeah,
don't
what
read
am I-
it. Just sign it.
Sign it. That's it.
it's like it's not
It's
real.
official.
That's wonderful. We've been watching your love story
Yes.
from afar, from close, and here we are.
How long we known you now, Jithin?
I think over 10 years.
Easy,
Right? Easily?
easy.
Yeah, then Sophie met immediately.
Yeah. I
So-
think
We've been
you just
married
met
for-
me like as an extension of
We've been married for 5, so you've known her for at least
At
for
least.
5.
from the start. I think. Yeah.
So you guys were dating 2 years, a year and a half.
I want to say
Started
at least
early January. Early 2018.
Yeah.
This is before Bumblebee, right?
That is.
Or maybe during. Maybe when it just started.
Well, it
but-
could have been early Bumblebee time, but yes, online dating was just becoming a thing.
Wow.
That was back in 2018. So we might
Wow.
have been the first few couples who started the online dating trend and worked out.
Pioneers.
There you go.
Like that.
Wow. This is not Christian Mingle.
This
No.
is not Christian Mingle.
Or what was the other one? We have a friend. I'm not gonna tell you his name.
Yeah.
Plenty
But-
of Fish. I think that was
Yeah.
one of the Plenty of Fish was one of the dating apps. No lie, that is a legit dating app. I don't know if it's still around, but that's
I've never, which is the one? I'm trying to think what's
I think it was Christian Mingle.
Christian.
for sure.
There's another one.
That's all I know.
Okay.
But I have a friend. We have a friend who he used to tell me, he's like, "Yo, bro, because they give you a trial period, so he started like 4 accounts.
Oh.
Yeah, it didn't work out,
It didn't.
Oh, none
Didn't
of
work
them
out.
panned
It
out.
didn't.
Oh no.
It didn't work.
but he tried it. He's like, "Yo, I gotta do a different email." I'm like, "Why?" He goes, "Because
Yeah.
it's a free trial, so I got 30 days to find love,
That's wonderful.
and it didn't work out."
Oh, that's too bad. But at least he tried.
Yeah.
That's
And
important.
this right here is a success story.
This is a success story.
Yeah.
It's
Married
a
now,
beautiful success story.
Baby.
Yeah.
Beautiful baby.
And then COVID. Tell me about COVID. That put a strain on your.
Definitely. We had our 2 weddings, and after our wedding ceremony that you officiated, I went back to Canada, where I am from and lived at the time, and was not allowed back because the borders closed because of COVID.
Crazy. So what year did you guys get married?
2019, September.
September 2019. COVID's 2020.
March of 2020.
So you had to
COVID.
go back. When did you have to go back?
I think soon after our wedding, I
Okay.
already went back because I still worked back home.
Yeah, her immigration process was still pending, and so March 2020, she had the interview scheduled.
It was so close.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
It was
I think
literally
I was a
the
week
So
away.
before.
close.
Yeah,
And then
everything shut
we
down.
were so upset when that happened. We were so
When you
upset.
say we, you mean
We
your
represented-
firm?
Yes. When
Is-
I'm
are we
saying that,
sponsored
my
by your
boss
firm?
Ed, yeah. I'm talking my boss Ed came running. He
Oh, you
was
are?
like, yeah. My boss Ed,
Oh.
I remember him. He came running. He was like, "You gotta be kidding me! They were right." And
I know.
it just
But this firm, Eduardo and
and Aaron
and
Rivera
Aaron,
Chalka,
they made it
and the
happen.
Immigration needs.
That's right.
All the
That plug-in.
immigration.
All immigration needs.
You saw discount code.
Yes.
You should have a discount.
Should have a discount
You
code.
should. That's hilarious.
I can vouch for them because they got me here.
Talk about it. The
Yeah,
testimonial.
I think they, yes. If it wasn't for
You know
them,
what? You gotta hear this. Yeah.
if it wasn't for Eduardo and
Eduardo and Ashley.
and the firm, honestly, I would not be here today. So
Look at that.
This.
That's so good.
It is.
So COVID happens, right? And you weren't allowed to come back.
no, yeah. So basically, the border shut down, and they were very strict about who can travel outside of the country or into the United States or vice versa, back to Canada.
I mean, we were also both slammed at work, right?
Yes.
She was in the hospital as a nurse, and I was also working at Mount Sinai in the city, so we didn't even have the ability to, like, take time off or even
Yes.
leave because we were essential workers.
Essential
You are
workers. I was
essential
trying to think what was
workers.
the word.
Shout out to essential workers. Come on. Come on.
And they're still in that field.
Yes, of course.
Listen, a lot of people left that job. Essential workers left their jobs. A lot of them quit. It was a lot, especially during that time.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there were.
A lot
of people quit. A lot of people, the hospital was forcing them to early retire, so that they can, recoup funds and.
Yeah,
try to
definitely
make
was a
things
hard
work.
time, and a lot of them are still dealing with what they had to see on
Trauma,
a daily
right? Like
basis.
PTSD.
Just yes, a lot of because it was just a lot of hard things that they didn't know how to navigate at the time, and they were getting new information every single day on how to take care of these patients. So it was a lot. So I think definitely continues to have an impact on us for years to come. So much has changed because of COVID.
So how was Canada during COVID? Exactly. You were in Toronto, right?
Yes.
So
yeah.
how was that trauma, that crazy?
It was similar to what was happening here, but I think New York got hit much harder.
Really?
Only because it ended up being, I guess, the number of cases of COVID positive patients or critically ill COVID positive patients in your hospitals were much higher than that of Canada and other states in the United States. And so that's what I think caused you guys to have greater influx of workers who ended up not staying at their jobs because after they saw that much sickness and death and just a lot of trauma that they just decided not to continue working in the healthcare fields.
But doesn't Canada have more strict laws?
I think they did manage it very differently. So I think the Canadian government definitely managed the whole lockdown situation. They were very strict about lockdowns and who can travel and
so it was like a 9 p.m. curfew.
there unfortunately, I mean, there wasn't any curfew of that sort, but they were very strict about who can go out and how much you were interacting with other families who might have been affected and tracing of things when you did become positive and who else you affected. So I think they were, in that way, they were good with managing how much the spread of COVID was happening in different communities. Whereas here, I feel like that happened eventually, but for a long time, it was just mismanaged. So that's why the spread of COVID got out of hand. And then it had to be, everybody had to reel it back in after a while. But at that point, it had already gone. It was very far gone.
Yeah, I mean, it's also New York is a lot bigger.
A lot bigger, yes.
Population
More popular, yeah.
Yes.
Toronto and the outskirts of Toronto, they're a little bit more.
It's a lot easier to manage certainly than here.
There's a lot more snow there.
A lot more so. Kills off all the germs.
Salt.
It's too cold.
Nice. Man, that's enough. Speaking of snow, you want to talk about how you got stranded? No.
Oh my!
That's a different podcast.
That's another episode.
Getting stranded on the way to. So how long were you guys apart?
I think
9
I want to
months.
say was
Almost
it?
a
Oh,
year,
you know
almost a year.
exactly.
9 months.
I was gonna
3
say
weeks.
6, but I guess this many hours. Yeah.
Well, I mean, because of COVID, it was, it started March, right? But I think we didn't see each other either January, February, for whatever reason.
Earlier than that.
Work or whatever reason. So we didn't really see each other
for a while.
until September. So it was, for whatever reason, it was essentially 9 months.
It's like
After
married
Christmas, we didn't see each other.
and your wife is out here for 9 months.
Yeah.
So you couldn't fly to Toronto, right?
No.
Everything was locked down.
That's
Yeah.
right. But they lifted it eventually, you know? Yeah.
In September.
But
Yeah.
but Canada was still strict.
Yes, they were still strict about who can fly in and out of the country. So if you were not a Canadian citizen or I think a immediate family member of a Canadian citizen, you were not allowed into the country for any reason whatsoever.
Glad I did this spouse.
So,
Yeah.
Otherwise,
9 months.
Yeah, so that was
that was
difficult for sure. And it was definitely, I feel like even though we were married, it didn't feel that
Yeah,
way
yeah.
because we weren't, able to do what newlywed couples
Yeah, of course.
did, start their life together, start making decisions together or living, sharing a space together. So all of that got delayed for the 9 months after our wedding, essentially. And then eventually when I did move here and the world opened up again, then we were able to
Yeah.
start
The
doing
memories.
that. Yeah.
That's crazy. Wow.
How did you be if I wasn't around for 9 months?
I'll be very sad. Just like
I was gonna
Jithin.
ask you,
Yeah.
when's the longest you guys ever been apart?
Apart.
Oh, 2 weeks?
Days? 2 weeks?
Like,
Days?
you went to Brazil, but
Just days.
Yeah.
days, weekend, overnight.
She's happy when I'm around.
Let's see. It's
Some
time to
days.
just relax,
See?
just watch
Yeah.
shows,
See?
binge on shows.
hmm
That's all I do.
Yeah. Okay.
I know.
Yeah. Wow. Well,
Yeah.
let's really talk about what we met today.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. We had an incredible time at what's it called? The Israel Coritos concert, right?
Coritos Live.
Coritos Live. And the moment that it came out, I was like, I gotta go.
Absolutely.
Jithin's gotta come with us. Sophie's gotta come with us. And I called him up. Did he tell you the story? I called him up Thursday because I think it was like the tickets came out fast.
I said I'm going regardless.
So all right, let's get tickets. And I called up the number one fan, Israel. How many concerts you been to already?
I think that one was my tip Israel concert.
And I said, hey man, you gonna come, right? And he was like, well, I used my card already,
Oh well, we're new parents.
Yeah.
And I want to be responsible.
Of
in my
course.
Time. And
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not as easy to, go out because then we have to find childcare.
Of course.
As soon as we can, then we are ready to
yeah.
go.
Then he
out.
tells me, no, you two go. Make it a date night.
Date.
I was like, I'm not going without you. I said, I'm not going if you're not coming.
Oh,
Right.
So then he says,
What did I say?
How did you get him to convince?
I forgot. What did I say?
he said, you make it a date night.
I did. I said,
That's right.
you make it a date. That's right.
And I
Bring
was like,
Soph? That's good.
Jose, I'm gonna have to call you back. And so then I think I called or texted Soph. I was like, Pastor Jose really wants us to have a date night together.
that's what he said. I was like,
He's so
okay.
into our marriage.
love
He
it.
wants us to spend time.
Yeah. So it's like,
Together.
I think it's really important
For
that we
our
do
marriage,
this.
yes. And I was like, I can't say no to the
Oh,
pastor.
That's so funny.
If he recommends it,
No, you gotta
it's
say.
coming straight from God. If it's speaking through him.
I was at the Colombian bakery and I was like, Jithin, no pressure, but I'm gonna go inside and go order some food. When I come back, I just need an answer.
Right.
Yeah.
I just need it, but no pressure. No pressure.
Make it
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Now, are you glad that you actually went?
Oh, 100%.
Yes,
Let's
absolutely.
talk about it.
Yeah.
That's really what we're here.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. We have our own views, but want to hear your views because of language barriers.
Yes.
Also, but what you feel, what you saw,
Yeah.
what was your experience?
Yeah, so interesting enough, right? The concept of this album was Coritos, right? And so Coritos are songs that are familiar. They're they're hymnal, they're classics, they're stuff like that. And
Yeah,
I
classics.
think if you look at any language, right? The English language has their hymns that are very, foundational and
Yeah.
very popular and things like that. And even for our Indian culture and the language Malayalam, we have these similar. I don't know if they call them. They obviously don't call them Coritos, but there's these groups of songs that we always sing, and it's so interesting that songs that we sing are also the same songs you guys sing, but they're just in a different language and stuff like
yeah.
that. So there was, for us there was a little bit of familiarity to it because it's just like, oh, these are songs that hit a different heartstring, that gets you into a different place, right? And I think also for me, being in church with you guys, and being the musical director for a couple of years, and
In my mind, I was like, just knows all these.
so I knew a lot of them, so it did, and we've talked about this too, right? There are songs that are great in English and they sound well and they go well, but sometimes the Spanish language just it hits different when singing certain songs and even though they're the same song if you're singing English or Spanish, the way it's sung in Spanish, it just hits different.
So here's a question. So were there songs that Israel and the band, were there songs that they were doing that you guys know in your native language?
Yeah, like
Definitely.
Which, wow, let's hear it. Listen, listen. No, I'm not saying sing it.
I was like, we get.
Yeah.
C, give me a C, give me a C.
I put that, like that one.
Really? Really?
We have that as well, and
how does that sound?
Wow.
you're asking the wrong guy.
I know that we're not comfortable, or we haven't practiced our native language in a very long time.
But that's something that you guys sing it.
Yes.
Yeah. But if we were to
Absolutely.
go to we have family members that go to churches that are very
Traditional?
Yeah,
traditional and also just mainly or 100% Indians, right? Or Pentecostal Indians. And so when we go to those churches, when we
You hear
visit
'em.
them or when they have a baby dedication or things
Yeah.
like that, like we hear those songs, like, oh, there's a familiarity to it. These are some of the songs that, we used to hear when we were growing up. And back in the day, at least my parents, I know your parents too, they were very... Our parents, well, your parents were musical. Your dad's very musical.
Oh, really?
Your
Talk
dad-
about that.
But you sing.
Not as much as I would like to anymore, but definitely grew up like not a stranger to music. Just because my father, growing up, was in a band and he played the keys just like Jithin.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And used to sing.
Shout
Yeah,
out
in
to your
college,
dad.
he had a band of his own. He had long hair
Whoa.
down to here because that was the
Garage
thing
band.
back in the 80s. And he used to play in like hotel lobbies
Wait,
and
so
stuff
he
with his
was like
band.
a wedding singer?
I
No.
don't even know.
Hotel lobby, so like
Yeah. They would book his band to like
Oh.
play, in like hotels and in colleges and stuff, and so.
So he had his own band, like...
Right, yeah. So he
This
he
was
played
not a
the
Christian
keys.
band.
This was not a Christian
Oh,
band.
your
This
dad's
was
a rock
secular
star.
band.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
So that was he grew up.
Before he was saved.
Yeah, that was.
So he was a
Wow.
rock star.
So now, when you guys hear his language, do you guys understand? I know you say you guys are not fluent.
We don't
Yeah,
speak
we
it, but
understand it.
we can
You
definitely
understand
understand it.
everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just wondering.
Yeah.
If there was.
So, like I said, like our parents are somewhat musical, right? And her dad played. My parents never really played or sang, but they always had worship music going on.
Yeah.
Especially Saturday mornings, like that was like the thing. They just had the cassette player. Of
course. Shout out
and
to the cassette.
the boom box. They stuck it in and were blasting music, and so those songs are just so familiar to us, and so then coming to that concert, just hearing them again, or just in a different language,
That's so...
just
I didn't even know
brought
that.
Yeah,
That's
just brought
amazing.
That
great
is so
memories.
cool.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
funny
so-
how it just translates through, different cultures, but it's the feelings are still the same. It brings back the same memories, I feel like.
That's amazing. So Israel can do a concert in India.
He
Oh
absolutely
yeah,
could.
I'm sure
yeah.
you could.
Israel.
And if you need somebody to hold his guitar,
India
Right
is
there.
calling right
You know
now.
what's so
Shut-
funny? Like,
Yeah.
even though when we were going to the Coritos, even though I knew it was gonna be in Spanish, but
Yeah.
even being there, I don't know why I thought it would be a little more bilingual, because I'm like, is he thinking about the people that are gonna come and watch? But no,
he
and it
leaned
just
into it.
right. He was into it, and then I had that same experience, like being there, hearing this. It took me back to my dad's church.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I'm like, this is what we were jamming out to. Nobody wanted to leave the church because we were playing these Coritos, and you could sing 10 Coritos with the same key and change it, and it was just it was very nostalgic for me.
Wow, that's amazing. So now here's another point of view that we talked about a little bit about it, but language wise, because I asked you how'd you, because we didn't have this conversation, but I was like, what did you like? How'd you think about it? And you're like, well, I didn't really understand it, but it was beautiful, what was your feeling? You've been around it, like the songs, but what was your point of view? Like, what was your feel? Because,
the whole night was just definitely like so much talent is
Yeah.
what we were exposed to that night. So it was really nice to see all the different vocalists and musicians. So you're just in awe of the amount of talent that was
Yeah.
on that stage, because it seemed like they
Yeah.
have several singers,
Yeah.
so many different musicians playing every
Yeah.
every single instrument that you can possibly think of. So that was really amazing, and just the whole presence of God in the room was
Amen.
amazing, and everybody seemed to get into it.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a great experience. I enjoyed it a lot, even although I may not have understood a word. It was still nice to be there, and so I thank you guys for inviting us. It was really
and we
great.
stood up for 4 hours.
That we did, yes.
Talk
And
about
I
it.
didn't feel like
Sit,
sitting
right?
down.
And I didn't feel the same
did
way. I'm
not
like,
feel
I'm
like
not gonna
sitting.
sit down. I'm like,
No.
for what? I'm like,
No.
you wanted to see from where we were sitting, like you didn't want to miss anything,
Anything.
capture everything. So
Absolutely.
Here, watching them walk off the stage, and who's like gonna pop out from the side, like who else do they have coming out?
Yeah, and all the songs were so upbeat and
Yeah.
lively, and even the ones that were not as up tempo,
Yeah.
you still wanted to stand and be part of that whole vibe as well. So it was so good. I didn't want to sit down because I was like, then I'm gonna have to be standing and
Right.
dancing
Yeah, the seats
in
weren't
a
the
moment.
best. I would think because there was like a beam in the middle. That's really what it was.
I think the venue. I mean, I don't think they were expecting as many people that showed up, because I feel like I don't
It was
know if
sold
it.
out.
Yeah, I feel like it
It
definitely
definitely was sold
held
out.
more. There was more people there than seats.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they had 2 nights, and I heard the night before was also the same way.
But I think they booked it there for the nostalgia. Of,
Yeah.
I got baptized there.
John 3:16.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like
Yeah.
if you were to call out, 1 or 2 pillars
Yeah.
of, Pentecostal,
Yeah. John 3:16 is
churches
that?
Known church.
in the city in the Bronx. Yeah,
Yeah, he is. That church is known
Yeah, it's definitely not.
for that. One of my friends I cut his hair, and he was telling me, "You went to my church," and he said that he went to that church in 1979. He was walking around, right? He just came from Nicaragua, and he was walking around, and he saw the big building, and he heard music. He said, "Oh, let me go in." 1979. He walked in and said, "Oh man," grew up Catholic, and said, "I love this," and stayed there.
Wow.
So he goes, he was mad at me. He was mad at me that I didn't tell him that I was going there. I was like, honestly, I wasn't sure if that was it, and but that is definitely I've never been there before. So you got baptized there.
I got baptized there, so and it looks exactly the same.
That's
Exactly
crazy.
the same. Because I just remember sitting in the balcony. All the baptism, like all those that getting baptized, had to sit in the balcony, and all the family was down at the bottom.
Oh, really? That's what you guys did?
So if you were getting baptized, it would take you right upstairs. Did the service, you had to change into your white gowns, and then the family, and then where the top part of that cross, that slides down. It's like a glass, and then the balcony, you're both coming from each side. So they would have the men, the woman, and then you'd be right in the middle of the glass, and they would see you.
I
So it
didn't
was
like the
definitely-
seats. I
No,
didn't
they
like
were
our
very
seats.
uncomfortable. Yeah, it's where we were sitting, or like the actual
Yeah,
seats
where we were sitting.
sitting.
So that's why I moved up.
You were acting like
Closer.
security.
I think.
He was behind like the media guy.
But I just moved up. I just wanted to see if there
Yeah.
was
Right.
empty
Yeah.
seats, and they weren't. But there was an empty spot. And I remember vividly Israel saying, I followed the orders, and he said, "Do not take video, do not take pictures." And all of a sudden, everybody goes, "Jip." Video.
Yeah, I
And
got in trouble for this, and then I got mad, and I'm like, everybody in front, I'm like, what?
You got in trouble for it?
Yeah, the guy was like, put your phone down to me and this other kid, but then
Really?
just one time, because after that, everybody's still recording. I'm
Yeah.
like, you think people are not gonna take out? We get
So
it.
I kind of felt like I was responsible to stand there as like a security guard and tell people not to take out their phones.
That is-
And I just got caught up in the moment, And the stage.
totally ditched us.
I
Right.
called you guys over. I was like, come,
Not once.
come.
Jithin, did you
Yes,
see him
I
once?
did.
Did you see him once though? Because I
No,
didn't even know
we-
where he
I
went.
didn't get a
No, we had
text.
no
I didn't
idea
get-
where they were.
This whole time I thought he went to
Where's
the
my phone?
bathroom. I thought he went to the bathroom, and Jalen was like, "Where's Dad?" I'm like, "I thought he went to the bathroom."
Are you serious
Which is
right
that-
now?
Absolutely.
Are you serious? How come Rachel came up and
I
said,
didn't
and
even
Alexa
know.
came?
I didn't even know that they even stepped away because I
Oh,
was
because
just
you
so
guys went.
locked
You
in.
guys stood up and went to the right in the middle.
We were
Yeah,
to
we-
the
we were-
left,
we were
yeah,
deep.
we were right
I
to, like,
text you guys.
I promise
I have
you,
seats. I mean, I
this-
have a place for you to stand.
This whole time, I'm like, Jalen, he went to the bathroom. Go find your dad.
Rachel found me.
No, maybe she was scoping you out. Like,
Bro, I
think
was
so.
like,
We did
No,
not
definitely
see that.
are you
Right?
serious?
We did
Missed
not
that.
see you.
Missed
yeah.
it. We definitely missed it.
Yeah, where were you? There was a sea of people there that day, though, so you just got lost in the
I
sea.
just went right to the left, all the way to the
Yeah.
left until I couldn't go anymore.
Oh, we did not see you. Yeah.
Are you
The
serious?
whole time they went to the bathroom. I saw you go to the bathroom. I didn't see you come back, and I didn't see you walk past the thing. I didn't know where you were.
Oh well, I had a good, I had a
No,
good
you
view.
had a
I had a great view.
time.
I'm glad you had a great experience.
Yeah.
So, thanks for asking. So my experience was great because I was playing security guard for the first 30 minutes, and I'm like, I'm not taking my phone. I'm not taking my phone. And then Marcus Witt came out. I was like, oh shoot. Marcus Witt is like,
It's like he's an OG as well.
he's like, you have David in the Bible, and then you have Marcus Witt, and I was like,
There it is.
there it is. I broke the rules.
And he sings his epic song.
Wow. Well, it's coming out April 5th, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, that's what he posted today. Oh wait, I don't know if the album's coming out April 5th. He's the recording
Watch party,
the
right?
watch party
The
is
watch
coming
party,
out
right?
April
Yeah.
5th.
Oh, so out of the 5 concerts that you've been to your GOAT, because just you said he's your GOAT, which one's your favorite so far?
There was one time I saw him by himself for like 2 hours straight in Brooklyn. That was ridiculous. But that was like Aaron Lindsay. That was the prime like Israel and New Breed band and stuff like that. This was, and that was also probably like 2016, 2017, like coming right off Jesus at the Center album and and stuff like that. So that would be my number one. But this is right underneath that, just because of the the musicianship,
Ridiculous.
unified praise, unified
Some
sound. They were
unified
just-
sound.
I remember catching them on YouTube when they were just doing those covers,
Ridiculous.
and it was just like it's just another level.
Nasty work.
So yeah, just between that and musicianship, performances, I like the way that he brought his team, which is Israel New Breed, right? And then he also brought, there were people local. There were local worship leaders that were from New York.
Oh, yeah?
That were also part of the team, and so he kind of brought that New York sound.
Yeah.
Or try to incorporate it within the set and stuff like that. So.
But he brought like all the Spanish
And
top worship leaders.
Yeah, Miel San Marcos.
Mia San Marcos,
Evan
they
Kraft,
sold out Madison Square
Marcos
Garden.
Witt.
We went to that. I didn't know any of their songs because it was a new album.
Alex.
Alex Campos shook my hand. He shook this hand.
Did you end up washing that hand after, or no? Is it still?
I don't know. So in my journey to get closer, I happened to go to one side, and as I'm going back to get you guys, he comes out of the shadows and then like a bright light, and he smiled at me, and I looked at his smile and I said, "Wow, you have really bright white teeth," and I said, "You're Alex Campos." He goes, "Yeah." And that's all. I forgot how to speak Spanish, and I just stuck my hand out, and I was like, "Al taller del maestro." And he's,
That was an awesome album.
yeah, and he was like,
Do you
"Yeah,
remember we used to listen to
amazing,
Alex Campos
Amazing.
on repeat?
on repeat."
Like Jalen knew his songs.
We went to see him actually.
We went to see him.
We went to see him in
Where was it?
Harlem, Palace, United Palace,
Yes.
United Palace.
We had his T-shirts.
Yeah, yeah, he was the man.
Yeah.
He still is the man. But
Evan Kraft was there.
Aaron Kraft was there. Yeah,
I was mad that he didn't sing much.
he sang one song,
one
right?
piece of
Yeah.
center of it all in Spanish.
You want to remind me of Aaron Kraft?
No, I'm just saying. You were naming all the people.
I know you want my guy to say.
No.
Remind me.
No. You don't
And
want
he
to
said
make
Miel
this a 40
San
minute.
Marcos.
We said no to him. He was supposed to come to my dad's church, and we're like, I never heard of this guy.
Oh, you guys said no.
Yeah.
Was I there?
Yeah, probably. So he
Wow, you
reminds
guys
me all the
said no.
time. He reminds me all the time.
He would have been at Mishpaha.
I know he was, and
También en la fe, like.
I know. I messed up.
You messed up.
Sorry, Evan Kraft. I messed up. It was just ridiculous.
It was.
Um,
Amazing.
How was it for you guys? You asked about us. How was How was it for you?
It was, yeah, like I said, it was nostalgic being baptized, and that's probably the last time I probably went to that church.
So how long was that?
I was 16 when I got baptized.
Over 30 years ago.
Yeah, and never had to go back because that was just like in the Spanish Eastern District. That was the church they used for baptisms.
Yeah.
Like my dad didn't have a baptism. A lot of the churches on Long Island didn't have their own baptism, so that was the designated church. So you just had a It was almost like the baptism. You knew the date. And that's when all the churches would go.
Yeah.
So it's like one date, everybody knew about it. Anybody that has people that are getting baptized, this is a date, you promote it, and you go. So you give a list of the people that are getting baptized to the church, and then so it was like a once. Yeah. So that was the last time.
I think it was, to me, when I was there. We were online, and I don't know if the people expected that much. If the local church expected that many people to show up.
Right.
Because it was so many
It's a
people.
lot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then the people that were there, you could tell they were like, I don't want to say fans, but they were into this.
Yeah.
He didn't
absolutely.
have to sing any, like a mic, and they all would have sang every song.
Right.
Absolutely.
So when we watched them live,
Mm-hmm.
in front of God.
Yeah.
This was like
Oh my God.
20 years ago at the Upper Room.
Upper room.
Shout out to the Upper Room. And I remember that. He had Terrence Palmer, the bass player. It was ridiculous. And I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been watching him for over 20 years.
Right.
But that was the last time I saw him live.
Yeah. That was the last time.
So I think it was just amazing just to see his transition and watching him. And I think it was,
It's just a catalog of songs.
yeah.
It's goes for days. And I always said how talented he is that he can sing all his songs in whatever key and it's smoothly. It's just always smooth transitions. It's just amazing. And there's songs that a lot of churches still sing today.
Yep.
Songs that,
I also felt like I was watching. I never saw Michael Jackson and I never saw Prince. But I looked at him and I was like, is this the equivalent of our Prince, our Michael Jackson? You know what I mean? And like, I kept watching him. I was like, he's in his bag. He's in a zone. And I'm watching everything from when he's not singing. And I'm like, man, this guy, I don't know how many years he's been doing this. But I was like, this guy is like our
Our
era, but he's like, every song that he plays, we know it. So I thought it was, I guess you could say, a virtuoso performance. We watched it live, and it was just like, it was ridiculous. So I think it was an amazing night.
Yeah, for
It was
sure.
an amazing night.
With amazing people.
Yep, of course, even better people. Yeah, even better people. So, and then we had an incredible hang afterwards.
Yes.
We had an incredible hang afterwards. We'll talk about that later. Memorable that we can't really talk about it. But you know what I also really enjoyed about it? I want to tell you this. Is that we got the kids to go.
Right.
Yeah.
And just today I was listening to a podcast, and they were talking about how this generation, when we talk about this generation, we talk about the alphas. The alphas have learned something from the Zers. The Zers almost went against God, and they're turning back to God, and watching Rachel and Jalen, because they grew up listening to that music, because that's their worship music.
Right.
That's their worship music.
Right.
Listening to them and watching them and asking, how was it? Jalen was like, that was ridiculous.
Jalen was like standing like on the chair at the end because he wanted to see the view of everything. So when I looked, he was standing on top of the chair, making sure that there was no pole in front of him.
Yeah.
So he enjoyed it, and Rachel too.
Rachel was singing every song, and that was the most special thing.
Absolutely.
That my kids were able to watch an icon. Really, that's really who he is. So we're so thankful for Israel
Yeah.
and what he did.
Right.
No, he's great.
I had this thought last night, actually. Well, before coming to here, it's like, just like the preparation that he's done over these last couple of years. Like, you'd have to think, okay, so he's probably written maybe hundreds of songs, right?
Thousands probably do it.
Yeah.
Out of those hundreds, yeah, maybe he's probably written 1,000 songs, maybe 100 songs that have coming out.
Yeah.
Right? To write those songs, to produce them, to tour them, like he's had to put in thousands of hours that maybe no one will ever see or appreciate or either understand or fathom the touring, the promotions, all this stuff. But man, just what an honor I'm sure it is for him. But like what an honor it is for us just to be able to listen to God through him, through the music that he wrote. Just to always continually say yes. I remember watching an interview like pre-COVID, or he was talking about, basically when COVID happened, he was like, I'm ready to retire. Like I'm ready to just like
it's crazy.
go off into the sunset. And
it's crazy.
Just, like,
that's before COVID.
Yeah, before COVID, he had this mindset of like, hey, listen, I did my albums. I had won my Grammys. Successful, and
because he had achieved it all by then.
Yeah,
So he didn't need to continue.
That's ridiculous.
And
that's the ladder glory right now.
and then now after that, since that moment, he's dropped literally 4 albums since then, including this one, right? So, just the way that the Lord continues to speak to him, and then also just which we didn't really talk about, the way he embraces the new generation, right?
Yeah.
The Aaron Moses, the Diaz, and there's a third one, Nate Diaz, and then there was a third one that I'm blanking right now. But he's taking them again, like if you're talking like the Michael Jordan of like gospel CCM worship music, right? And he's taking like LeBron, Carmelo Anthony, and Dwayne Wade underneath his wing and being like, hey, listen, this was the path I took. These are the mistakes I made. But not only that, I want to put you on my team and show you and take you along with me so we can make music together. Like, what an amazing opportunity for them. I wish them the best as they go through their independent, musical journeys. That, whatever they can grasp from him, that they can continue it on. Just like you said, for that generation, because just like you said, the generation Alpha, they're gonna be listening to Nick Diaz. They're gonna listen to Aaron Moses when their music comes out and. They're looking for a sound just like we did, all those years ago.
He changed church sound.
More 100%.
He changed church worship, and I always had this discussion with you, because I'm more of a Kirk Franklin guy because that was my guy I listened to. I remember when he had the album with the 4 different pictures, different colors, and I remember listening to it. And my friends who were like worship leaders, like, I don't listen to him. He's too out there, he's not, too worldly. And I was like, I like that sound. So I was like, I like that sound. But Israel has stayed more in the worship, even though I think The Power of One is still my favorite album that he's ever done. To this day, I was listening today. The Power album is. And the first song is like a tribute to Michael Jackson. I don't want to hear it. So the first song, if you listen to it, it sounds like a Michael. That's when he passed. Anyway, but I always thought, and I watched both. But after all this, Israel got it. Israel got it.
So you're convinced now?
No, Israel got it.
Spoke about that.
Yeah, listen.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I'm just waiting. I'm gonna give him like maybe 5 more years, and then he'll do a Super Bowl.
I feel like Israel that would be amazing.
That could do a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They'll probably give it to Kirk first.
But
they'll probably give it to Kirk.
Yeah.
But I feel like catalog wise, I think Israel.
Right.
Israel.
Absolutely.
I think Israel, he reaches more generations than Kirk Franklin does.
That's so good.
I think he, like you said, because you were able to bring the kids.
Yeah.
And they enjoyed it, and so did you. That's what, and so did we. I feel like that there's so many different generations that he relates to.
Yeah.
Which no other artist can say they do.
But once again, I think that's like the Prince Michael Jackson. You have Prince, independent, and you have Michael Jackson was the pop. You see them going, and I think this is just from me outside looking. I think they've helped each other, because then you have Fred Hammond, but I feel like Fred Hammond has taken a back seat.
Right. That was like when our age.
Yeah, Radical for Christ.
Oh my gosh.
And
that's and
Commission.
Commission.
Like, that was what that was like the worship. Fred Hammond was the worship and Kirk Franklin was the uppy praise, but that was our generation. And even though Fred Hammond is like
still the man,
but
it's a different drive.
That's a whole because you put a Fred Hammond album and right away you're like.
But it's not. I don't think they're old church songs. In Israel,
No.
you could put any, and
Right.
it becomes.
Fred Hammond, you couldn't really sing them at church. You couldn't
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
But Israel allows you to bring it to
Amazing.
church to worship.
Amazing.
You know,
Yeah.
good times.
That was amazing. It was an amazing night.
Definitely memorable night. Yeah.
Memorable night. Yeah, so good in the Bronx. All right, parting thoughts.
Oh, thanks for having us. Thanks.
No, thank you for allowing us to experience that because that was great.
Oh yeah, thanks for calling us out and
Yes.
forcing us to come out the house and do it.
Make
Yeah,
a
I
date
think-
night.
Yes, a date night, which ended up being a very special night. Yes, love.
We had a blast.
Yeah,
There
it was
shouldn't
such
be
a
no
great
reason
night.
why we should have a date night. It should have to be
Listen,
something.
I had to sell it to him somehow. But it worked out. I thought
We're just
it
gonna
was,
say dessert, and we're out.
There you go.
that's
You
right.
said dessert date night, we're out.
That was so good.
That's it.
That was so good.
That's it.
Well, that's great. We'll leave it at that.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. So make sure you tune in to, was it April 5th?
April
Yes.
5th. Yeah. Oh, we're promoting.
We're
that.
promoting it. Come on, we're promoting it.
I guess
Yes.
it was a whole big promo.
Let's,
yeah.
come on, just watch it. Show some support. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, show some support. You know, I told one of my coworkers, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to the Israel concert. She goes, Israel? She was like, you mean Adrian's husband? I was like, what?
I know. Don't do that.
I was like, what?
Israel stands alone. Like,
I was like,
it's not
excuse me? Yeah,
like, yeah.
it's funny though.
Correct her.
No, because that's how she knows him.
There you
Because Adrian owned, that's, you know.
That's
Yeah, she has her own brand.
Of
and
course
so
she
he.
does,
And
yeah.
so depending on who you're talking to, they'll
Yeah.
be referred to.
That's so funny. That's the first time I ever heard it. I was like, what?
I know you're
I was like,
part
what?
of the chorus. Always right.
That's hilarious. All right, cool. All right, that's good.
All right, let's get dessert.
Let's get dessert. Come on.
Good.